Hello everyone, a very warm welcome again to each one of you for the virtual session of Science Children. So let us continue with the chapter Reproduction in Plants, Part 7, Chapter 12. What are we going to do today? Let us see. We are going to do NCERT exercise, question and answers. And you all know that you are going to write this in your notebook. You have to write question answers of the NCERT exercise for this chapter in your notebook, children, as you normally do once we finish with the chapter, since we have completed most of the concept for the chapter in the previous sessions. So let us start with the NCERT exercise. First, question 1 here, filling the blanks. Production of a new individuals from the vegetative part of a parent is called dash. That is called as vegetative reproduction. So you have to write the complete answer, vegetative reproduction, and write the statement, and the correct answer you will underline. Then the second, filling the blanks here, a flower may have either male or female reproductive parts. Such a flower is called dash, unisexual flower, where if you have both male and female both together, then they are bisexual. But if they have either male or female, then it will be a unisexual flower. Next, the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of the same or of another flower of the same kind is known as dash. So this is a pollination process, is a natural process which you have learned. Next one, the fusion of male and female gametes is termed as dash. So you have learned about fertilization in your previous session, where the male and female gamete will merge and it will form a zygote. So this is fertilization process. Next, seed dispersal takes place by means of dash and dash. So mostly it is going to take place by wind and water. I hope this filling the blank is clear with you, and you're going to write the statement with complete statement and the correct answer you're going to underline. We'll go for next. Question number 2. Describe the different methods of asexual reproduction and give examples. Let us see now. Different methods of asexual reproduction we have already done. So here you have binary fission, first one. This process takes place in unicellular organism where single cell is present. The parent cell elongates and get divided into two identical daughter cells. Each daughter cells grow into an independent adult. So this is binary fission. Next, endospore formation. In this method, the spore wall is formed around a bacterial cell to form an endospore. This endospore germinates to form an active bacterium under favorable conditions. So these are some various methods of asexual reproduction. Then you have learned about fragmentation. In this process, body of the organism breaks into two parts. Then each part grows into a new filament, thus forming two organisms from a single one. So you have seen the example of algae. Under algae, you have learned Spirogyra. So Spirogyra is an algae which undergo fragmentation, that is asexual reproduction. Then spore formation. The spores are tiny spherical unicellular structures protected by thick wall. The spores are stored in a hard outer covering and is called as sporangium, which you have seen the diagram also you have seen. Under favorable condition, the hard cover breaks and spores spread for germination. We have seen the example of mushroom, and you have seen the image where the hard coating will break. The spores are stored in a hard outer covering, and that is called as sporangium, and that will break under favorable conditions. The hard cover breaks and the spore will spread. All this we have done, children. Budding also we have seen in yeast. New organisms are produced by the bud formation from the parent organism. Budding you have seen in yeast. After growing to full size, the bud gets detached and forms a new independent individual. Then vegetative propagation, when vegetative parts of the plant like stem, leaves and roots etc. give rise to new ones, it is called as vegetative propagation. So these are the various methods of asexual reproductions which we have already done. I hope this answer is clear with you children. Then next one, explain what do you understand by sexual reproduction. So what is sexual reproduction? You are going to write all these answers in your notebook children. I hope you are writing there. Sexual reproduction means involvement of two parents in the process of reproduction. So here both male and female will be involved in the process of reproduction. It is found mainly in the higher plants, mostly in multicellular organisms. Not in unicellular organisms, but in multicellular organisms where male gamete and female gametes fuse to form zygote. These zygote develop into individuals which are not identical. Offsprings inherit the characteristics of both the parents. So inheriting the characteristic means those genetic factors will pass on to the offspring from the parents, the genetic material. That's why the characteristic will have some resemblance with the parents. And in sexual reproduction, both parents survive after the process of reproduction. These are the main points and about the sexual reproduction children. Now state the main difference between asexual and sexual reproduction. So let us see what are the distinct point of difference between sexual and asexual reproduction. Definitely they have some differences. So let us see now, and you are going to write these points of difference in your notebook. Draw columns, make two separate columns and write the points of difference, the distinct point of differences between them. Asexual reproduction, only one parent plant is involved, whereas sexual reproduction, both male and female parents are involved. Second point, asexual reproduction, it occurs in unisexual plants. So mostly unisexual plants means having either male or female reproductive part, whereas sexual reproduction occurs in bisexual plants where both male and female reproductive part is present in the plant. Asexual reproduction occurs in lower plants and sexual reproduction occurs in higher plants which have a higher modified structure. They're stronger and they are more modified, they are more evolved and are better adapted to the surrounding. Those are higher plants. Lower plants where the adaptation is not that good, the structure, the other parts of the plants are not that modified, so they are lower plants. Now asexual reproduction, reproductive organs are not present, whereas sexual reproduction, fully developed reproductive parts are present. In most of the methods, the original parent disappears. So in lower plants, actually they are not modified to have the reproductive parts, where in higher plants, uh, they have better reproductive parts, both male and female. So over here, reproductive organs are not present in asexual reproduction. Here, sexual reproduction, fully developed reproductive parts are present. Then asexual reproduction, in most of the methods, the original parents disappears. So here, in this, original parents disappear, whereas sexual reproduction, original parents remain alive after process of reproduction. Then asexual reproduction, process like gamete formation or fertilization is not seen, whereas over here fertilization of gametes give rise to zygote, which we have seen in the previous sessions. Then asexual reproduction, characteristics of only one parent is inherited because it is mostly in unisexual plants. So occurs in unisexual plants in either male or female. So only one parent can pass the characteristics to the offspring, whereas in sexual reproduction, characteristics of both the parents are inherited. So we have some features of a mother and a father as well, because it is the both the parents are involved and in the sexual reproduction. Whereas in asexual reproduction, no needs of seeds, whereas sexual reproduction seeds are used to get new plants from a flower. All these are the main points of differences between asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Please take it down in your notebook. Now you have to sketch the reproductive parts of a flower. Let us see, we will find the reproductive parts of a flower with the help of the diagram. You have to draw this diagram. Even if you have drawn earlier in the previous session and you kept it as a note, here you are doing NCERT question answer. So in your answer you should draw this. Again, it will be a practice for you. So a male reproductive part will have stamen, which consists of anther, and anther will have pollen grains inside, and it has a tube-like structure called filament. Whereas female reproductive part of a flower will have stigma, style and ovary, and ovary will have ovules. Inside the ovules you have eggs. Actually ovules are eggs. So these are the main female reproductive part, that is pistil. Pistil is a female reproductive part which will consist of stigma, style and ovary. And a male reproductive part of a plant is called as stamen, that will have anther and filament. So this diagram should go in your notebook with proper labeling, so that this concept of male and female reproductive parts of a plant is clear with you. Then you have to explain the difference between self-pollination and cross-pollination, which we have seen. We have seen the diagram of self-pollination and cross-pollination. Let us see the distinct differences between them. Self-pollination, pollen grains are transferred to the stigma of the same flower. We have learned this. But in cross-pollination, pollens are carried to stigma of another flower. Second point, self-pollination occurs in bisexual plants having anther and stigma maturing at same time. So here bisexual plants required because male and female reproductive parts becomes extremely important for self-pollination. And it will anther and stigma should mature at the same time. Whereas in cross-pollination also occur in bisexual flowers having anther and stigma maturing at different times. So the major difference is the time over here. Here anther and stigma mature at the same time in self-pollination, whereas in cross-pollination anther and stigma mature at different times. Now self-pollination, it takes place in plants like wheat, peas, etc. Here in cross-pollination you have examples like ladyfinger, tomato, brinjal, etc. You have to make two columns and write these points of differences, self-pollination and cross-pollination, in your notebook. How does the process of fertilization takes place in flowers? Let us see how it takes place. We have learned all these concepts. So now you just have to write the answers from your notes. When the pollen grains reaches the stigma of the same species of flower, it starts growing into pollen tube uh, of the stigma. This tube continues to grow inside the style till it reaches the ovule. Male cells are released into the ovule for the fertilization with the female egg cell, and thus the zygote is formed. After this process of fertilization, the ovary develops into fruit and ovule into seeds. Please underline ovary develops into fruits and ovule will develop into seeds. So if you have a mango, so the seed inside is actually the ovule which is converted into seeds, and the ovary part has become a fruit, mango fruit. And you have to mark this over here. When pollen grain is reaching the stigma of the same species, the pollen grain itself will grow and it will form a tube-like structure that is called as a pollen tube of the stigma, and this will continue to grow inside the style till it reaches the ovule. This is the main part where pollen grain itself will grow as pollen tube uh, of the stigma, and it will grow inside the style until it reaches the ovule. It has to reach to ovule for the fusion of the male and the female gametes for zygote formation. Now next one, describe the various ways by which seeds are dispersed. We have learned this as well. So following are the ways in which the seeds are dispersed. Some light seeds like that of madder, which are hairy, dry and small, are carried away by the wind to different places. Spiny seeds and fruits like that of xanthium and urena stick to the clothes of passers by and animals. These seeds are carried away by these agents to different places. So, different seeds and fruits are carried away by different agents. It depends upon the type of seeds, the characteristics of the seeds decide by which it is going to be transferred or get dislocated or displaced from one place to another. In some plants having heavy seeds like that of coconut, water act as a dispersing agents. And some seeds are dispersed with fruit burst like in the case of balsam and castor. This we have all seen. This is how and dispersal of seeds is extremely important for the germination of the seeds and for the uh, growing of the plants and for the suitability of the climatic condition and all that benefits we have seen of the seed dispersal in a previous session. Now match the items in column 1 with those in column 2. I hope you are writing there, children. So over here in column 1, you have bird, eyes, fragmentation, wings, spores. Whereas in column 2, you have maple, spirogyra, yeast, bread mold, potato, rose. Let us see what characteristic being seen or what process is seen, what methods being seen in different unicellular and multicellular organisms. Here, let us see now. Over here, bird, you see in yeast. Potato you see eyes, so eyes will go with potato here. Fragmentation you see in spirogyra. Maple you see wings, and spores are seen in bread molds, mushrooms and all. So this is your answer. You just have to write the correct answer, column 1 and column 2 in your notebook. That will be enough for you to understand this match the column. Now take the correct answer. Now here you have to take the correct answer for this. Here option given to you all. First one, the reproductive part of a plant is the leaf, stem, root, flower. You all know the correct answer. The reproductive part you have learned what play the flower. So the first answer is the flower. Second one, the process of fusion of the male and the female gametes is called fertilization, pollination, reproduction, seed formation. So the fusion is called as fertilization. C. Third one, mature ovary forms the seed, stamen, pistil, fruit. So ovary forms fruit. Always remember. So ovary forms fruit, and ovules gives you seeds. So ovary, mature ovary will forms the fruit. Next one, a spore producing plant is rose, bread mold, potato, ginger. You have learned this very simple bread mold. Last one here, barophyllums can be reproduced by its leaves. So the correct option over here, you can have the options missing here. You can have options like stem, roots, leaf, flower and all that. So barophyllum can be reproduced by its leaves. You have seen under vegetative propagation of plants, you have seen the barophyllum um, on the margin of the leaves. You see the outgrowth of small leaves. Those outgrowth of the small leaves on the leaf of the birophyllum is actually a vegetative propagation of birophyllum. It is reproducing with the help of leaves. So this is what you are going to write the correct, you have to tick the correct answer. How are you going to write this in your notebook? Just write the statement and the correct answer. Like the first one, the reproductive part of a plant is the answer. Below you will write flower. Then next one, again statement and the answer. So this is how you are going to write the question of ticking the correct option. Thank you, children. I hope the way you have to write MCQ and all is clear with you all in your notebook. Thank you again and have a great day.